few minutes after 6 Hawaiian time. Now let's go ahead and start by getting our shoulders upright and just kind of firming up through our midsection and sitting in a comfortable way. You can sit kneeling or cross-legged, and any way really that works for you is fine with me. Even sitting in a chair is great. Let's begin by putting our hands directly on our thighs with the fingers spread apart, nice and wide. And just go ahead and let your arms relax down, shoulders dropped, and let your jaw relax a little bit, and the eyes can go soft. You don't have to close them though. I'm going to start by just dropping the chin down towards the collarbones and feeling the back of the neck, and breathing in and bringing the head up and gazing up to the ceiling. And then again down. We'll do that about 4 times. Bringing the head down and up and down and up. One more time, taking the chin down to the collarbones, lift the head up and back to neutral. Good. And then we'll take the head over to the left, and you want to feel the right side of your neck lengthening and feeling a little bit of a stretch and tension there. Take a breath in and out, and just breathe naturally, taking the head down to the side. And we'll start with the head and neck and just see if we can get a little bit of the tension out of our neck, shoulders, and jaw. And then we'll start to allow that tension to release down the back of the spine and out the back of the legs and through the feet and all the way out, hopefully, of our body. Now from here, go ahead and take your head down around in a half of a circle. Yes, a half circle, not a full circle. We try to avoid those full circles back so that our neck, for those of us who especially have any impingement or any issues in our neck, we don't throw the neck back behind us while it's rotating. Okay? So let's go ahead and take the head one more time in each direction. And again, not that you can't do it, it's just that you want to be mindful of putting the head back and rotating it back at the same time. Not necessarily bringing it back, but rotating it back. Let's go ahead and look over the shoulder. So as we look over the shoulder, we want to also get our eyeballs involved. So as you go over the shoulder with the chin, look past the chin with your eyes. Yes. And one more time in each direction. Just a few in each direction. Great. And then let's go ahead and take the hands together, fingers pressing in. Yeah, you want to kind of crack your knuckles there and push straight out, and then bring it in and out a couple times. So right here, we want to feel the shoulders pushing out and in, and then reach up. Bend the elbows and touch the crown of the head, reach up. And bring the arms forward and round your back like a cat. Yes. Inhale, reach up, and then take the hands just on top of the forehead. Reach up and flex or round the spine back towards the wall behind you. And breathe in. And breathe out through the nose or the mouth. Take the hands to the crown of the head. Good. Let's do that 2 more times. So if you can see that, I'm going to round your back. That's better. And reach up. And hands on the forehead. Bending the elbows. I know that looks kind of funny. Reach up. One more time. Round your back. Even more. Push your back away from your belly. Lengthen and stretch the arms at the same time. Reach up, and then this time take the hands behind the head. Bring the elbows together. Let's do neck pull, neck stretch, elbows together. Pulling forward, inhale, reach the elbows back as if they were going to touch the wall behind you. Squeeze the blades together and bring the elbows back and separate the shoulder blades. Bring the head down and come up. Good. And take your left hand to the floor, stretch your right arm up, and then just cross over to your shoulders. You twist a little bit, reach up, and try that again. So it's like you're karate chopping your shoulder down and reaching up. Can you see that? So I'm twisting a little bit at the ribs and bringing the hand to the shoulder and up, and one more time to the shoulder. And it really feels nice, isn't it? Up and switch over. So first we go to the side. And just breathe naturally, twist a little bit and reach up. And twist a little bit and reach up. And twist a little bit, reach up. One more time, twist a little bit, reach up, and then we're just going to go to the side again. Yep, and this time we are going to twist a little bit more and just see if we can take the hand down towards the outside leg. Reach up, take the hand down, come up, and once again we're twisting over towards the leg, looking down. And from there, let's go ahead and twist and turn our whole body and come to the hands and the knees. Got my trusty pillow here today. For those of you who need padding under your knees, you can either roll up your mat or you can simply just put something under your kneecaps to keep the knees in place. My knees tend to swell up by the end of the day, and I know some of you have the same issue. So it's good to start early, get that pillow under there at 6 a.m. Tuck your toes under so we can spread the toes apart. And we really want to stretch, I know I say it a lot, but we really want to stretch underneath the foot. It's an important place to get flexibility and mobility. So those two things are very important. Flexibility probably is just as important as mobility. Let's go ahead and round the back up, and we're going into, of course, our cat stretch. And today I would love to have you just stay here for a couple of breaths and tuck your chin a little bit more, looking towards your belly button, and see if you can really fill up the back of the spine here with some deep breaths in and out. You're going to hear some cats today. And go ahead and extend your spine, look in the other direction. And this is where you want to take the first few minutes and notice what's going on in your back, right? For those of us who have back problems, we want to avoid excessive ranges, right? So maybe we don't want to go up too high, or maybe we don't want to drop our hips and back down too low. So you want to take this first few minutes to see where you're at here. And then you want to play in the safe zone where you're not in pain. You don't have to feel pain to get the benefit of the movements, right? And then the next thing I want to have you do is find neutral spine and extend your right leg back for spinal balance, and reach your left arm forward in front of you and thumb up like you're hitchhiking. Yes. Take a breath. Exhale, and then reach back behind you. Bend your knee. You don't want to grab your foot, but you just want to see if you can touch it. And then reach out, and we'll do that a few times. Bending back and kind of lifting the chest. Yes, and back. Same thing here, just checking in with your spine. One more. Reach out. Now flex the heel, reach the hand down, and then lower the leg down and up like this. Yes. And you want to feel your buttocks muscles engaging. Yep. Breathe out a little bit and just get a little vigorous here with it. That's it. Now point your toe, lift the leg, and bring the knee in, and then just kick it out. Flex the heel, point, pull it in, kick out, flex, point. It's a little bit for our butt today. Out, flex, point, and pull, and reach out, flex, point, and pull. Let's keep going with that. Reach out, flex, point, and pull, and then yes, flex, point. And the whole time, right, you're trying to maintain this hands position here. And one more. And then release by putting the foot down. And now we're going to stretch into it, dropping down to our elbows this morning. I'm just kind of moving. See how I'm moving back and forth with my ankle on that side? Good. And releasing the knee back down to the mat or the pillow and the top of the feet down. And then I stretch back here a little bit. And then I'm going to shift forward, shoulders back over the elbows. And we'll do that 4 times. Breathe out and stretch towards the child's pose and come forward and reach your buttocks back and forward one more time. Nice and easy. Nothing fancy. You don't have to do a bunch of fancy stuff. Tuck your toes back under, stretch each toe individually. Go ahead and reach out now with the left foot and pull in and up on your navel center right here. Take the right arm out. Yes, now I have a wall behind me, so I'm going to bend my elbow, but you don't have to. You're going to point your toe. See if you can reach back. Just tap your foot if you can. You don't have to touch it. And then reach out 4 times. You can point or flex, actually. Now, I like to look at a spot in front of me so I don't fall over. So that's probably a good idea for you too. Take a breath. Reach out. See how nice it is when you can find your balance, right? A good way to find balance metaphorically as well. Now reach out, flex the heel. Go ahead and bring your hand down. Good. Now you're going to point, bend the knee in, reach out and keep it there. And then we're just going to lower and lift. Again, same thing. You can point or flex here if you want. If you feel better just pointing, you can point. And 2 and 3, or do a few in each. 4 and 5. See how I'm just playing around with it. All right, now hold. And then it's knee in, push out, flex. Now this one you do want to work through the ankle. Breathe in, breathe out, flex, point. And I'm keeping my torso pretty still here, right? And I can always change my wrist position by coming up my fists as well. Take your time, reach, flex, point, and pull. Pull the buttocks, reach, flex, point. That might be the lift part of the class. Although I was thinking more like lifting our mentality and our spirits. Okay, one more. Here we go. Nice deep breath. Good. Now hold the leg back into the floor. Drop to your elbows one at a time. Clasp your hands together and press your heel back. And then see how I'm shifting forward and shifting back. So my torso position is pretty much the same except for the fact that I'm on my elbows. So again, I don't want to cave in my low back or in my abdominals or rib cage. Doesn't that feel great? And then we'll lower the leg, place the tops of the feet down, and then just sit back. See how I'm not going all the way back? I'm staying in a little bit of flexion or a rounded back. And then I'm going to go forward about 4 times, breathing out and in. I know it doesn't seem like I'm doing a lot, but I'm doing it with a lot of control and deliberate intention here to stretch my back. One more time. Press. Good. All right. Shift the weight back up to the hands and the knees. We're going to tuck our toes under and then lift the hips up. And let's go into our downward dog this morning. Pressing one heel down and then the other. And then at this point, you can always move your pillow so you don't trip over it. And as you can see, right, I've got my back pretty straight. Sometimes you'll see people like try to get their head down to the floor. And that's not the best thing for the shoulders. And I'm going to turn just so you can see that. I don't want to press like that. It's terrible for my shoulder joint. I want to keep my shoulders in more of a natural position, right? I'm already putting stress on my shoulders by being in this position with my hands. So by pushing my head to the floor, it's just going to make things worse. No matter how fit you are, all right? That's not a matter of fitness. That's just too much flexibility and too many chances to strain the back of the shoulder. Let's walk the feet in. Sometimes you'll feel pain in the front of your shoulder, and most often pain in the front of your shoulder, like a lot of the time, it's actually coming from some muscles more towards the back of the shoulders, depending on your body, but a lot of times it comes from the back. So sometimes where you feel pain isn't always where the pain actually is. So we're staying in this forward fold and we're shaking our head. And for those of you who want to take your hands to the floor, take your hands to the floor. And then I'm going to have you just kind of bend and straighten your knees a few times just to get the sensation of the motion behind our knees and how that connects to our low back and our feet. And from here, lift your right heel and then your left heel. And again, you can have your hands more up on your thighs if you want, or even holding the chair. All right, and then roll up and come all the way up to standing. Take a breath. And then today, stretch your arms in front of you and reach them back. Good. And then bring them to the side and float back down and slide your hands all the way down. That's it. So let's try that again. I'm going to turn to the side, take a breath. And so you pull in and up through the navel center and roll your spine up until you're standing. And our arms come overhead. And bring them to the side. And now I'm going to pat the back of your legs. And then we're going up. And you're standing. And then going down. And that's a trick. And now the front of the legs, they can roll up and roll back down. Good. And then the side of the legs, same thing, rolling up and rolling down. And on the inner legs from the arch of the foot, so we want to get to the quad, this hip area here that we always talk about, where the lymph nodes are, and rolling up. And then just with a light fist or light hand, just going to tap around your hips. So this is where your lymph nodes are, those little things that look like kidney beans, and they are all through your body connected. It's like your floating immune system. And the only way that you can move that and then through your body is by your muscles contracting, right? Or some kind of outside force where it's a very light movement, not a deep massage, but very light movement. So we're going to work on that a little bit. Now that we've kind of got our shoulders and our arms and our legs warmed up, let's go ahead and just do one more thing here. See how I'm moving my arms like that, like I'm flicking something off my hands? Just do that a few times. Shake out the energy, and then we'll just go through where the next area where a lot of lymph nodes are, which is at the armpit, right? So you want to kind of go down the side of the armpit, pat up to the neck, out through the hand, and with the arm you can just kind of go pretty easy there around the whole arm to the chest, and then you can go around the breastbone. Good. And then try that on the other side. We're just patting, 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 pat, 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 and just kind of getting that. Good. So that's where you have a lot of lymph nodes too, right in here. Right? So hips, shoulders, right? So the large muscles. That's why things like movement, aerobics, and all that, walking, anything where we're moving, yoga, moves the lymph nodes, squeezes pressure, and gets the fluid through the body. And then the next area we have a lot of them are here in our neck. So it's nice to do just a soft, floating the hands up, the neck, like you're getting a facial, and moving the fluid. All right, and shake it out. Great. Bring your feet closer together, about pelvic distance. So think pelvis, right, is here, hips are here. So a little closer there. Beautiful. And I'll do a little bit of lateral flexion. So let's start with the right arm, reaching it up and over our head to the side, like we did when we were seated, except, see, I'm going to move my hips over and slide the left hand down. And then we'll just move my hips one more time. Center. Great. And side. And so I want that big lean here. Adjust my hips as needed. And then come back to center. Take a breath. Roll my shoulders up. Inhale, exhale, and down. Switch sides. Lateral flexion. Now I want to add my hips to the side. My palm is turned down. And then I'm just going to do one time. And then back over for that side stretch. So forward bending, right? And you turn backward, and then we go side. And excellent. Let's go ahead and take the left leg back behind the right. A little bit of balance here today. Excellent. And let's go ahead and take our left arm up and cross the right arm underneath and see if we can bring our hands together for our first balancing position today. Shift your weight back into your left foot. Good. I'm watching. Now lift your right leg, and if you can, cross it around your left ankle. Great. This is called the eagle. And what you do in the eagle is you cross the midline of the body, which is going to stimulate your brain. And then we do a little bit of flexion here in the abdominals, coming down a little ways and looking through your hand and coming up. And then you close your right eye, and then open your right eye, and then close your left eye, and open both eyes. Uncross the hands, and uncross the legs. Good. And today we're just going to kind of go from pose to pose instead of that flow that we sometimes do. We're going to cross the right leg back. So everything doesn't always have to be a flow. Flow is nice, but it's also nice to stop and start as well. All right, so we're going to switch hands. So our right hand goes up, our left hand goes in the other direction. Yes. So basically it's kind of as if you have one eye covered. So it would be our right eye in this case. Now once I feel comfortable, I'm going to shift my weight back to my right foot. And I don't have to balance, but I can. And then I see if I can cross it around my ankle or my calf or whatever I can get. Keep looking towards a spot in front of you, and then go ahead and start to flex your rib cage, your spine, a little bit forward. Looking down now. Some people bend a lot in this one. You can do that too. I'm just going to show them the middle version here. Take a breath in and come up back to neutral. And then close your right eye. Open it. Close your left eye. Open it. Release the hands. Step the feet apart. Wider than your hips and shoulders. So we're going to just do a little test here to see how our hips are going this morning. So just going to do a little side to side, and then just some small hulas there around a couple times. Right, so you're just kind of playing with that. Yeah, little hula, just play with the hips. Great. Now shift your weight so that you're on the ball of the foot, lift both heels up, and then press them back down. Try that 4 times. Just lift. So see if you can get on those toes a little bit. And you'll notice one side easier than the other, of course. Beautiful. And arms out. Let's do the saw today. Take a breath in. Exhale through the mouth. On your next inhale, twist to your right and bend your right elbow back, almost like a bow and arrow looking behind us. And then center. Exhale. So we're going to do a long inhale, twist, and exhale. So we're going to see a little bit of effort here on the rotation of the rib cage. Twist. Yep. And then exhale. We're inhaling on the twist, lifting the spine. Doesn't that feel nice? And back. Good. Now on the next one, we're going to stay in position. And then lower your left hand as your right hand reaches up. Bend your knees and reach all the way to the floor. Look down at our hand. Make sure it's in the middle. Then look up if it doesn't bother your neck at your hand. Adjust your hips a little bit. You can bend your knees like this. And we're going to stay here for about 3 or 4 more breaths. Let's go ahead and inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth or the nose. Now we can inhale through the nose, and if we need more air, open the jaw and breathe in through the mouth. Great. Lower the hand. Walk your hands towards your ankle joints and shake your head yes and no. And then bring the arms out to the side. Hold your core muscles steady And come all the way back up. Ooh, with the arms to the side, twisting over to the left. And then as we reach towards the floor, it's like you're doing a cartwheel. Reach the hand down. Look at the floor first. Make sure your hand's in the center. Adjust your hips as needed. Look up and take a few breaths. Again, if your neck bothers you, just look back down. And we're breathing in and out 1 or 2 more times. Just 3 to 5 deep breaths is good here. If you need a few more, of course. And on the last exhale, lower the head, lower the hand. And once again, we're going to shake our head, yes and no, and let these muscles here, as a matter of fact, take one of your hands, can you see this? And just want to massage your neck a little bit with your hand and let go of that tension in your neck. All right, transition from here. Go ahead and turn towards your right foot and turn the whole body into a low lunge. Oh, yes, everybody's favorite. Let's place the hands on the inside of the right leg, pushing the right thigh against the right arm. Good. Stay right there. You see how my back's up a little bit. So I'm starting there, and then I'm going to shift down a little bit, and then I'm going to shift back up and press my heel down. Now that may be a lot, so you may want to come up or use your yoga block if you have one, or hold on to the wall, or the other thing is to adjust your feet. Okay, so just try that a couple of times to get, some good range here in the hip. Take a breath and lower your left foot down at about 45 to 90 degrees to the side. We're going into a side angle position, and we'll start by taking the hand to the hip here, and then reaching up to the ceiling. Turn your head down to the floor, look at your ankle joint, wiggle your toes, and then look up at your hand. And one more time, turn your head down to release the neck. If you're getting tired, come out of the position, of course, and then start back up, reach up. Excellent. And we're going to lower that hand down. Great. And then shift your weight so the back foot comes in. You're going to turn both feet forward. And we're going to come back, walking our hands up the legs halfway. And so we're in a very wide position here with the toes turned forward, arms reach up. Adjust your hips a little bit. There's my shirt. And hands to heart center. Good. Reach back down. So now we're a little bit wider than we were in the first straddle or saw. Reach down, slide, slide, slide. Shake your head, yes. You can grab your big toes or hold the ankles and then just move your shoulders a little bit back and forth. Get ready to turn towards the left with your whole body, placing the hands on the inside of the leg. So you see how my back is up here because I'm going to adjust my foot here and just test my hips, see how far I can get down here. Once I've got that, I want to play with the tension by straightening, all right, and bending into it about 3 or 4 times at your own pace, because you don't have to force it, but we are working on those hips today, right? And squeezing through, all right, pushing our legs straight and bending and squeezing those muscles to get the lymph to flow through the body. Put the back foot, or I say put your right foot down at 45 to 90 degrees, going into side angle. So you have your hand on your hip, all right, and you're pushing. See, I have this leg here, I'm going to push it, and option to reach up. So this is optional. And turn the head down, lift to the floor, normal breathing. And from here, see, I have a little less range. You can see it in my body, test it in your own body. Notice how I'm like a little stiffer there this morning. Look down one more time, look up. But it's pretty normal sometimes. Lower the hand back and down. Good. Now from here, we're just going to simply lift the back heel and twist it around carefully back into our lunge. Step back into the plank. Uh-oh, what? We'll do the plank today, yes. A little bit of core here. Lower your knees just a little bit, and then lift them up, exhale. Let's do 4 of those. Lower the knees, just tap lightly and lift. I think Pilates here, and straight. 1 more. Then we'll go right from here into our downward dog again. And this time we're going to hold a static position, spreading the fingers apart like big starfish. Bend your elbows a little bit so that they're not locked back. And like we talked about, it's not about trying to take your head to the floor. Think of reaching your hips up at the same time that you're pressing your heels down. And they don't have to touch the floor. I just happen to have very flexible ankles, but I would say most of us have trouble reaching our heels to the floor. Transition here, we're going to go to the pigeon. So we're going to take our left leg up nice and high, really stretch it up, bend the knee from 3-legged dog, moving into pigeon. And I'm a good example of someone who needs a prop. Ta-da! So I just take the prop under my hip. You know, back in the olden days, it didn't need props. I used to be able to just lay flat down, but as you get older, so our hips get tight. So instead of forcing yourself into the position, you use your prop and you go to where you're comfortable. You can flex the heel a little bit and then just lower your elbows first, take your head down, and then once you're here, this is where you get into the good stuff. You rock a little bit, and hold, hold, hold for a few breaths because you want to kind of work through that tension a little bit. Just enough till the muscle relaxes, and that usually takes maybe 30 seconds or so for the brain and the nervous system to let that release. Up until then, you're usually holding a contraction of the muscle until the nervous system, the brain, and the spinal cord literally tell the tendons and the muscles to relax. Your tendons are what keep your bones attached, your muscles attached to your bones. All right, so let's go ahead and push ourselves up a little bit if we can. And then reach up with your right hand. Take a breath. And then reach around and back. And then turn your head and rotate a little bit towards the leg. Watch your low back. And then reach up again. And forward and cross the midline of your body, taking the right hand over the left. Turn your head, neck, and shoulders over and look behind you in the other direction. Take a breath. Come back up. Stretch the right arm up one more time. Lower the hand. Tuck the back toe up. You can move your pillow like that. And then go back up into down dog, either kicking the leg up or alternating heel presses and shaking our head a little bit. Yeah, good. All right, now pick up the other leg, whatever one you didn't do last time, and just stay there and maybe bend the knee. See how I'm lifting this heel up? That allows the back of my leg a little more flexibility than if my heel is down. Okay, so that's kind of where I want to use my body weight, bending and deliberately taking the other leg. And even though I don't need it on this side, I put it there anyway, just to balance it out. So I'm not overstretching one side more than the other. That's really important. Just because you have flexibility on one side doesn't mean you should keep pushing that side. You should try to balance it out between both sides. So let's come all the way down. Let your head drop towards the floor if you can. And then we go into this little bit of rocking, like we talked about, and breathing in synchronicity with this movement. And you're just playing, you're just playing with yourself. You're breathing, you're playing with your body. You don't have to be too serious, a little serious. All right, one more in each direction. And you find the center line here. And if possible, take your hands or prop yourself on your elbows. So you want to be careful here how far you come up, right? And then we're going to take the other arm. So this would be your left arm this time. Your left is my right. Reach up. That's it. And then if you can, turn and rotate the ribs. Touch back towards your leg. Bring that arm back up. And cross it over the other hand. Yes. And turn your head all the way, look behind you. Nice deep breath. And then turn your head back to center. And instead of going into the downward dog, we're simply going to shift our weight and swing. I say swing. Well, bring the other leg in as much as you can. And I'm sitting up on this pillow today a little bit just because I'm a little tight in my legs. So I want to honor that, right? So we've got our hands behind our thighs here, and I'm going to shift my weight back a little bit, and with the knees open just a tad, right? So a little bit wider than the hips, we're going to prop ourselves up into the boat pose. So a little wide boat pose, meaning now I'm going to, if I can, I'm going to put my hands on the inside and see if I can grab my ankles or my big toes, or keep the hands behind the thigh. Whatever is easiest for you. Look straight ahead at a spot and just start here, finding your balance and taking the legs halfway. It's kind of like a seated baby pose. Yes. And once you're comfortable there and you feel balanced, that's when you're going to straighten your legs. You want to keep, to the best of your ability, your back in position. And you don't have to lock them out. So you have a little bend in my knees this morning. And we'll stay here. And then you can play with the tension. You can take the legs apart a little further. Right? Or you can bring them in and stiffen up the muscles under the arm. That thing there that my clients call it her bat wings. I try to tell her not to say that, but you know, I understand. Take a breath. Exhale through the mouth or the nose, and let the shoulders drop. One more breath here, and moving into butterfly pose. Bringing the feet together, releasing from the toes, and gentle rocking. And for those of you who want to move forward in this pose, push against your thighs a little bit, and go as far forward as you can. And I'm going to sit up nice and straight here, and I'm still getting the same benefit of the stretch, but without strain on my hips today. Because again, every day is different. The body that was here last Tuesday, not the same body as this Tuesday. Looks the same, well, most of the time. And then come back to center. It'll be a little bit different. All right, now shift your weight. I'm going to move my pillow, so you can move your pillow. You can either put it under your knees or behind your neck when we're relaxing. Let's lower all the way down and do one or two more stretches here. We're going to cross the left leg up and over the right. Yes. Great. And go ahead and pull the leg in and going into figure four. Straightening the other leg if we can, and getting our ankle circles done here, pointing and flexing, noticing all the different ranges of motion that we have in our ankles, right? Yes. Now notice your low back here, so we want to not be too far in with the back pressing down, not too arched, so somewhere in the middle where our tailbone and sacrum is down. Let's bend that knee down, lower the foot, and simply switch over to the other side right away. Option to lift the leg up, option to grab behind the thigh. Sometimes you'll have to do this to reach the leg, which is fine, and then you put your head back down. If you can, straighten the other leg. If not, we're going to stay with the knee bent and do the same thing, circling 3 or 4 times in each direction. Pointing and flexing. Yes, that's it. That's it. And one more breath here. So you want to hold it again a little bit, flex that foot a little bit, and pull gently. Lower the leg. And let's place our knees towards each other and pull them back in, holding the kneecaps and just stirring a little bit in each direction. And taking both knees over to the right and looking. I know we've already done some twisting, but just one more here. Think of this like wringing out a washcloth. Your kidneys, under the ribs, all your organs, your spine. And take one more breath here. Breathe out. Bring your legs to center and over to the other side. And look over to the other side. And you can just feel that nice stretch in the ribs. Coming back when you're ready. And just lying on your back with your legs either straight out or bent. So I'm going to hold my knees bent today and put my hands on the abdomen. Feel free to close your eyes or to just stay there with a soft gaze. We're breathing in through the nose first and feeling the belly, the diaphragm, the chest. But once you get to where you can't take any more air in through the nose, open your mouth and take the rest of the breath through the mouth. And then through the mouth, breathe out. Purse your lips a little bit if you want. Great. Let's try that again. Breathe in through your nose. Feel the belly, the diaphragm, the chest. And once you can't take any more air, now breathe in, open the jaw. And then blow all the air out. Let's try that one more time. Breathing in through the nose as much as we can. Open the jaw, keep breathing in through the mouth. And then very slowly let the air out. Open the jaw and yawn. Yawning, sweating. You want to force a couple yawns out. Stretch the facial muscles. Excellent. Let's reach the arms overhead. Legs stretched out. Imagine somebody's pulling your arms, somebody else is pulling your legs. And then just move your hips like, yep, like you're a gecko. And then point your toe on one side. And point your toe on the other side. And then make a fist with one hand and open the other hand and make a fist. Yeah. Point, make a fist. Point, make a fist. Point, make a fist. Point, make a fist. Fist. And release. Roll to your side in the fetal position. And push yourself sitting up. And then we just do just a quick half circle around in each direction. Clasp the fingers, reach up. Press the hands together at heart center. And that's all the time we have today. Mahalo, aloha, and namaste. Have a wonderful week. And we'll see you all next week.